Right now is former Israeli Prime Minister, Defense Minister Ehud Barak. Mr. Prime Minister, it's an honor to have you this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. So give us your reaction to the president's plan to withdraw all the troops from Syria.
Look, I heard Kellyanne, what's her name, mentioning that the
Kellyanne Conway?
Kellyanne Conway, yeah. I spent decades in special forces. I'm confident your guys on the ground love their engagement with the Kurds. They feel on the right side of history, fighting for the right cause with those poor Kurds. And no one can predict how it will end up because, you know, we have seen many surprises in battlefield. But having said that, America, which implement a policy of withdrawing its forces from the Middle East, look at what happens now in Syria, what happened recently after the attack of the Iranians on the Saudi oil installations. This is a weaker and less influential America. Because once you withdraw from such a fight, you use high or strong rhetoric, and then the big stick of Teddy Roosevelt is replaced by what looks like chopsticks or whatever. That's a sure way to weaken America on this arena. America had exceptional role on the world arena for having this, making itself a moral beacon for the human freedom, for liberty, for human rights, and leaving this behind will have a very strong impact. The winners as of now are Assad, Iran, Turkey, and Russia.
Wow. You've said a lot of things there, Mr. Prime Minister. This is going to mean a weaker and less influential America. Teddy Roosevelt's big stick is turned into chopsticks, and the winners in this are Assad, Iran, Turkey, and Russia. Tell us what you think the impact will be to Israel.
You know, for Israel, Israel is much stronger than the Kurds or any other player, and as a result of American support, including Trump's administration and previous administrations, so we are in a much better situation. But the signal is clear, and if you look at the responses of the Saudis, Gulf state leaders, the Iraqi government on one hand, and the Syrians and Turkey on the other hand, it's worrying. Israel is strong enough. Israel feels a commitment to somehow help the Kurds. We were helping them for decades now.
Well, this is a good point that you make. To explain the relationship with the Kurds. The Kurds have had the Allies back, right?
Yeah, the Kurds, they are spread over Iran, Turkey, and Syria, overall several dozens of millions, it's probably 30 million people, and they fought, and this separation between different power, regional strong power, does not allow them to establish their state, which they deserve under any consideration. We helped them when they fought against the Iraqis many years ago, and even now we cannot help them physically because it will taint. Whoever is helped by Israel is tainted as a collaborator and become mark on the forehead. But in humanitarian services, in many indirect ways, Israel is committed to help the Kurdish people, not exactly the Syrian branch, the Iraqi branch, and others.
So we've already seen this chaotic region become more violent and more chaotic ever since this announcement was made. Tell me how you see this playing out.
It's not easy to predict. As I have mentioned, these Turks have a very powerful army, but we have seen more than once powerful armies yielding to the fighting spirit of small groups that are fighting courageously. Now the Kurds, under the pressure, are negotiating with Assad, their previous enemy, and they're fighting for their survival. They will go with the devil in order to save themselves.
Wow.
And anyhow, America will not want video. So, you know, there are many thoughts of whether America should have entered to start with into this arena, into this chaotic situation. But leaving it now will leave a mark on the memories of leaders all over the area, which basically means less reliance or less readiness to rely on America at a real moment of truth.
So will the world start relying on other powers.
Yeah, there's never a vacuum in this arena.
Exactly.
So the Putin, which is basically weak on many arenas, but very gifted in using his skills in maneuvering, he used it to make Syria a major basis for Russian presence. Iranians are strengthening their hold within Syria, and now the Turks want to create this strip along the border. The irony is that some 8 years ago, they proposed it to the Obama administration to establish a huge no-fly zone over the whole northern part of Syria from Aleppo to the border, and this was rejected by the Obama administration.
Right.
If it were answered positively at the time, it might save the whole problem of immigrants that flood Europe, because there was a great opportunity to create a safe haven, but something that you missed 7 years ago cannot be replaced by an kind of hectic withdrawal without any apparent reason to do it.
You make a really important point, but a minute ago you said the winners here are Assad, Iran, Turkey, Russia. What did you mean when you said the big stick turning into chopsticks? Is this an Asia?
No, it's not about Asia.
Okay,
it's about the tiny and the absence of weight in the chopstick. It's when you use extremely strong rhetoric, be it in North Korea, on Iran, on Syria, and later on when the moment comes to stand behind it, you disappear, that has its price. It's not typical just for this administration. Even the Obama administration made it with the red line about use of chemical weapons.
Yeah.
Probably it's not a good tactic to use high rhetoric by world leaders.
Have you spoken to the administration about these plans? I mean, in terms of the withdrawal, not directly.
I happen to know many of the generals that were around Trump in the past, but not the present group.
Let me ask you about the peace prospects in the Middle East. There's new reports that the U.S. officials have been in talks with representatives from the Taliban, and they're trying to restart peace talks after they fell apart last month. The president recently expressed openness to returning to the table to discuss a peace deal with the Taliban. Your reaction to that?
I don't see it. After so many attempts to start negotiations, which seemed after several months to be fake, it doesn't yield anything. And in a way, even the other side, the other partner, is not sure whether the Americans are really serious or just playing for time for the next 15 months or whatever. I don't believe that agreement with the Taliban is a reality, and they will agree to something only if it serves them, and more that it serves you. And the same could be said about the Iranians. When you think of modern Iran never won a war and never lost a negotiation. You have to decide whether you are a backgammon player or chess player. They're always chess players. So they are very good, very sophisticated. The same applies to the Taliban. They know how not to get into a head-on clash with America. America is still the most powerful nation on earth, but tricking America by small developments on the ground, both in the battlefield and in negotiating room, it becomes more and more popular.
All right, let me end real quick on where we began, and that is northern Syria. If things worsen there, then what? The U.S. will have to go back?
I don't believe that this administration will go back. Probably it doesn't make sense to go back after you withdraw it this way. But the end result might be either a Turkish-controlled strip, some 20 miles inside Syria, which will put an end to the Kurds' aspiration to make it the embryonic Kurdish state.
That's too bad.
And probably, and it's sad, but it's not something inconceivable.
Yes.
And probably the fight will continue, and we'll see.
Mr. Prime Minister, it's great to have your insights.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you so much for joining us, Prime Minister.